Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Mitch. Thursday morning, August the 14th, here in sunny Melbourne. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Deja vu. I think I've done this before. At any rate, my friends, good to see you. Glad you're all here. People are piling in. The crowds are amazing. I think my sarcasm is showing. Anyway, my friends, good to see you this morning. Here I am, a vision in orange again. Long story. Anyway, let's get started here. Let's all drink it if we got it. And the mystery question this morning is, what substances may be lurking in your coffee this morning? Oh, yeah. I can't taste anything different about this cup. And you may ask yourself, the hell are you talking about, Mitch? So let me explain. I noticed this morning, with my new regimen, gone is the actual opportunity to enjoy an unadulterated cup of coffee. I've boxed myself into a corner. Not as bad as it sounds. But if I want to keep it to no more than, say, 3 cups of coffee today, and even against the advice of so many people that keep telling me, feel the need to keep telling me, you're not a real carnivore, Mitch, because coffee is from a plant, and you know how I feel about that. I have elected to both drink coffee with caffeine for reasons that make sense to me. They may not make sense to you. And you know, I always, without fail, advise you, do whatever the hell you want. Don't tell me what to do. And I can still claim to be a carnivore because I eat only meat. I don't eat coffee plants. I don't eat coffee beans. And if you think you're going to survive not getting any plant matter in you, you're mistaken, because if you take a capsule form of your electrolytes, most likely in the gel capsule there are plant materials. So let's stop being so anal about this one point. You eat 70% or more of your food intake, drink, whatever, at least 70% or more, you are a carnivorous animal. Whether it was up to Sean Baker to dictate the law about what it takes to be a, quote, carnivore, that's semantics, subjective, totally and completely irrelevant. So call yourself whatever you want. Call me whatever you want. I am a carnivore by my definition. That's all that I care about. Oh, why do we focus on such unimportant minutiae in this world? Anyway, back to my coffee. Excuse me. Yes, coffee. I was saying that I've boxed myself in my corner. The first cup of coffee I have in the morning contains Stinky Lucy. And yes, that does really affect the taste of the coffee. I mean, surprisingly enough, I've actually gotten used to it, and I enjoyed my first cup of coffee at about 6:30 this morning, after I had hydrated earlier with my electrolyte mix, which was water that had a slightly salty taste. I drank the Stinky coffee, and then I went back to pour my second cup of the day, and I said, you know, I've been forgetting my iodine. So I put 2 drops of Lugol solution in this cup of coffee. And quite honestly, you can't detect it. There's no way, with a double-blind randomized controlled trial lasting for years, with thousands of people in a placebo effect trying to tell whether their coffee contains 2 drops of iodine in it. I'm pretty convinced that that would be a waste of millions of dollars to do that study, because I can't taste the iodine in my coffee. So that's my second cup of coffee. And then I realized that my third cup of coffee, and I've been having 3 cups a day, and I understand that these are big cups, and probably have at least 11 ounces of coffee in them. So I'm probably drinking 4 cups, real cups, 8-ounce cups, by somebody's definition of a cup of coffee. I put my creatine in that. So all my coffee has become, and what in essence is, a drug delivery system. The drugs are basically just supplements, but the coffee is now the vehicle that I use to deliver them. And since I'm not drinking any more coffee, no more decaf or anything after noon, that's it. I have either sentenced myself to never drinking another cup of pure coffee again, or just living with this, because I think the benefits are worthwhile. So for all of you who are telling me, and you keep telling me, and I keep reading the comments, don't put it in your coffee, you ruin it in a perfectly good cup. You know the drill. Thank you for your concern. I love all of you. Thanks so much. But I'm going to drink my coffee and iodine this morning. So if you got iodine, drink it if you got it. Retired Rick says, I drink a man's coffee, pure black. Well, I drink a man's coffee, pure black, with drugs in it. So there, Rick. Terry Susie, the innocent coffee cup can hold many, many things. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. But I just, it hit me. It just hit me this morning when I looked it down, and I keep 3 things on my counter near the coffee maker that I don't want to forget. The first thing I keep there is my little eyedropper bottle of the Lugol's 2%. And I learned that I can't really set that down on the counter, because even though you don't know how it happens, that bottle always leaves a little ring, which is incredibly hard to scrub off a stain from the iodine. So I have a little glass custard dish there. And if any of you watch real closely in my kitchen videos when I'm wandering here and there, you'll see these little things sitting around my kitchen. And it's a reason for everything. I don't like clutter, but how can you help it? So I have the iodine bottle. Next to it, I have my bottle of baby aspirin, which I have reduced the dose down now to 1 baby aspirin, about 80 milligrams a day, as a concession to the entire medical community and all the drugs and everything they told me I needed to be taking to stay alive after this stroke. None of which I'm following. Maybe that's foolish. With my track record with the medical community, their advice and their carelessness regarding my health and what they've done, I think that I have a better chance of living longer and healthier with less pain and problems, just not letting them throw me in to the sheep that follow their every word down the rabbit hole of ill health, pain, suffering, and eventual death. We're all going to die. I want to make it as gracefully as I can. So I have the aspirin, I have the iodine. And the other thing I have is a little spritz bottle of, believe it or not, glasses cleaner. Because every once in a while, just wiping my glasses with one of these microfiber cloths, which is also orange, because I'm it's a fashion statement for me. This is my orange day, and I use this generally without any glasses cleaner, and it does a great job of, as long as you keep these cloths clean. So, but every once in a while, you really need to spritz it. So I keep that there, and that's it. That's it. That's most of you, I know many people, maybe not you, but many people have 15 prescription bottles sitting out, or they have their pills sorted in a 1 foot by 1 foot square pill sorter that has 3 compartments for every little section: morning, mid-morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon, evening, before bed, upon awakening, and take their 30 or 40 pills every day. I don't ever want to get there. God, hope I don't. Hope none of you do either. None of you do either. But that's the trend. That's the trend these days. And if it's not enough that we have all these prescriptions for all of our ailments, which just aren't getting any better, they're getting worse, we need to reserve a few extra compartments, it seems, these days, because we're supposed to ask our doctor about all these other drugs that they want us to take, that we see on TV. I'm being facetious, you know that, but somebody tell me I'm wrong about the fact that that isn't the trajectory of the human race and healthcare these days. And my God, is it only the people in our community that understand what is drastically wrong with that picture and decide not to play? Like Matthew Broderick in that old movie, Board Games. Remember that? At the line at the end of the movie pretty well summed it up, and it was a poignant line. And Matthew Broderick asked the computer, basically, how this was an unwinnable scenario. He says, how can I win? And the computer came back and said, in a computer voice, the only way to win is not to play. And that's my advice to so many people, not to do it blindly or ignorantly, but to understand that the game as it's played today is pretty much unwinnable by the average human being. It only results in going further down that death spiral, which is what it is, clutching hordes of prescription drugs, of medical appointments, lab appointments, imaging appointments, and notes to yourself to make sure you ask your doctor about 30 other drugs that you're not taking. Drugs are not our food. Drugs are our poisons, and their food is our poison, and our food is the only drug you need to be taking. Eat ribeyes. As a little pontification first thing in the morning before I start saying hello, things on my mind. Little announcement about that air fryer stuff, the Tyfer air fryer. They gave me the wrong. I know I made that video yesterday. Had a little fun with that. I had a little fun with a lot of things with that. I mean, like I've always said, if you can't find humor in something, why bother? And I made this morning. You're all thinking it. You're all thinking it. I know you are. And I thought I'd put it down. I might use this in my review video just to get a laugh, because I always go for the laughs. But everybody, including me, including them, including every other reviewer, says, the damn thing looks like a spaceship. So it's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Let's get it out there. So I found this photograph of the Mars rover that's really Mars and a little alien guy, and I'm going to title this picture, Yes, Martha, There Is Life on Mars. Thought you'd get a kick out of that. Hope so. If not, we can all admit I have a very strange sense of humor. I had to show you that this morning. You wonder what I do with all my time. I know, it's pathetic, isn't it? I do that and play with little technical gadgets, which fascinate me. Anyway, I got this morning, and I got an email from my little girl named Ivy, contact at Tyfer. She and I have had about 50 different emails back and forth already. She sent me the current link. I put it in there because I got a couple of people say the Amazon link doesn't work. I thought, oh shit, okay, and that works now. It does. Evidently, it's a link with all the discounts built into it, and it comes up and says the price is $4.99, 37% discount applied in checkout. So I tried it. I didn't buy another one, but I said add to cart, went into the cart, and it said $185 discount applied. Turned out to be about $314 and change plus sales tax, which I think is the best deal you're ever going to find on this thing. And I'm still not telling people to run out and buy them. And I still don't know if that deal that they gave me, and that link that they gave me, is going to be good forever, because it said this expires in February of 2026. So if that's the case, then this is a forever deal, and that's great news. I don't have to give people, hurry up and buy it before the sale's over. We'll see. Based on my experience so far, especially with Amazon, there's always confusion. So I'll try to stay on top of it and make sure that if you're going to get one of these things, and they're not for everybody, and I really continue to be impressed by it because I am so far. For $300, I think it's a no-brainer, especially if the self-cleaning really works. But that's up to you. I know if you can't afford it, I'm sorry, but people can afford it. And if there are things out there worth buying that people can afford, they should know about them. So this is not me waving something in front of you, or you may not need it, or you may not want it. Half the comments I got on that little unboxing video yesterday were people telling me that their way is better. I cook in my oven. I cook this way. I use a barbecue grill out on the porch. Okay. Okay. I personally I can't do that. For me to heat up the oven and cook a dinner in the oven for one person is stupid. For me to try to barbecue outside, recovering from my stroke, is also stupid. You know, we all have different needs and we all can afford different things. There's things I want that I can't afford. So I stopped watching review videos on $250,000 or $500,000 Bugatti cars. Doesn't mean somebody isn't going to buy one. So, mea culpa if I've insulted you or you can't tell me you can't afford it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's many things I can't afford either. Worthy Prince, 10 pounds super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Question says, have you tried a cut of meat called a skirt steak? Oh, I love skirt steak. I love skirt steak. It's lean. That's the problem. The only problem with skirt steak is a lean cut of meat, like flank steak. It's fabulous. It's great flavor, but you have to make sure that you're getting fat from either butter or something else, or you're eating something else that contains fat during the day. So you get your adequate supply of fat. But skirt steak is one of my favorite cuts of meat that they serve at the Brazilian steakhouse. When they come around with that skirt steak, everybody at the table goes, oh man, yes, give me some of that. It is so tasty. Wow, and it's cheap, but it's lean. But that doesn't stop me. It's just great. Very easy. Also, I'm so glad to see you making an awesome recovery following your stroke. Meat is the way. Yes, sir. Worthy Prince, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And good to see you here. I don't recognize your name at first glance, but I hope to see more of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that's the announcements. Talked about the air fryer thing. The Amazon link does work. I tried it out. While we're on the Amazon things, I've been running my banner at the bottom that says pushing my links and stuff I use, because that's the way that Amazon, you guys are buying from Amazon anyway. And it's just a reminder, if you use my links, it helps me. That's all. If you don't want to help me, no hard feelings. You're just as welcome here. If you can't use those links because they only work in the United States, believe me, I truly understand. And I know so many of you would if you could. But, yeah, I appreciate that. Let me get that banner out of there. I did add one thing to those links today, which you all think is crazy. You probably all think that I'm crazy. Because there are certain things in life that I enjoy. Little things little treats and, let's say, luxuries that I allow myself. Even though I'm not rich anymore, I still have to live and enjoy life, and certain things fascinate me that don't fascinate other people. And one of them is technology. And, I've been talking about my crazy foldable cell phone that I got here, and I'm just loving this thing. I'm having a ball with it. I think it's great, and it helps me tremendously in this YouTube stuff. But the thing that's been frustrating the hell out of me is finding a case for these things. I don't imagine many of you have got there with your Galaxy Z Fold 7 saying, I know how you feel, Mitch, and I know this is certainly nothing that like an air fryer or something is useful for carnivore, but if any of you have got this thing and you've been trying to find a case for it, you know how frustrating it is. I have gone through 4 of them Bought them from Amazon, got them, put them on, and they won't stay on. They fall off. They're terrible. Their design is bad. This is a very hard gizmo because of the fact that it has to open up to protect with a case, and it's expensive. You don't want to break it. I found a case finally. I got it on my Amazon page in case anybody out there. I don't sell cell phone cases, but I put the link to this thing. It's a sub case, and really cool. It's not the thinnest. It's got all kinds of gadgets, but it really protects the phone. You could actually drop the phone and not break it. It's got hinge, all that. So I put it on there if any of you are interested in what kind of case I'm using my phone. Not that I expect people to jump right on that. Okay, here we are. What happened? I managed to use up half the show. I got to be out of here by 10 o'clock today. The girl that cleans my house was here yesterday. Halfway through, she didn't feel good. She's fighting all kinds of problems, diabetes, everything else. She's trying to be a carnivore now. But yesterday, she got halfway through and she said, I'm not feeling good. I got to go home. So she's coming back this morning. Texted me, what time can I come? I said, not before 10. I'm on the air. So she'll be here at 10. And I said, got to be out of here. I'll try. That's an hour from now. We got another hour. Somehow I never fail to be able to fill up all the time for this thing, and a lot more than I've anticipated. First one on last night was Mandy Beddoes. Hi, Mandy. How are you? And there's been so much chat through here. Ricky Lee says I could eat a filet mignon on that phone. That'd be an expensive plate, Ricky. And Papa Carnivore Peter was here last night. Smoothie chimed in. Donita. I won't go through all this because you all know who you are. Rick, gotta do it. Gotta do it, Rick. There you go. That was a lot enough. All right. Obligatory quack for Rick. How you doing? 7:30 in the morning. Mike Sealy Sr. and everybody's chiming in this morning. I will say hello to everybody. You know who you are. You've seen it. Question from Tuka. I can't sleep and eat at the same time. What do I do if I want to do both? I saw somebody else that answered that question exactly with the first thing that crossed my mind. Intravenous feeding. Tuka. Intravenous feeding. Yes, sir. There it is. You need an IV. Says 32. See, you guys, great minds think alike. Erin is here. It's me. She says, hi, Erin. Good to see you. Everybody's already saying hi to everybody. Let me find out who was the first one here at 8:30 without taking up too much time. If you got any questions or anything you want to talk about, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them. Just as long as we're done by 10 o'clock. And I've got to continue on. And it's going to be quite a review. I'll tell you, I got a compliment. I got a compliment from the girl at let me read this to you. I was blown away because all the biggest barbecue channels, cooking channels, Google Foods, millions of subscribers in the carnivore space. You got Ferrigno, Dante, have been pushing these Typher air fryers since the beginning of time. Everybody, I feel like I'm late to the party, but everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a guy who can recognize. I say the expression is. When air is being blown up his skirt, you know what I mean? I can understand the brown nose principle. But with a hard time, and I got to tell you, it's a hard time that I gave these people. How many times I told them, let's just forget this, it ain't going to work out. Because I didn't like some of the ways they wanted me to do things, and they want to control everything. They want the guys, people who do their reviews, to basically make an infomercial for them. They send you told, and I used to say, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. Sorry, forget it. This is before they sent me the air fryer. And they kept, and I gave them a case. Why not? And they were reasonable about it. And I've been talking to this Ivy person. Ivy is her first name in China, for almost 2 months now about this thing. And I got this little note from her. And I remember she's in China, so it takes every time she writes a note, I got to wait till the next day to get it. It seems. And she said, I just watched the unboxing and first impression video you published on your channel. Now, I didn't send it to them in advance. I didn't ask their permission to do it. I didn't need them to approve of it before I released it. My stance with them has always been, I'm going to do it my way or I'm not going to do it. The minute you don't like what I'm doing, send a pickup tag and take your air fryer back. Now, I don't know why they put up with me, but evidently they must have thought, well, somebody believes what I say, especially the people at Ninja, because I still love that air fryer. I just don't like to clean it. It says, it's the most honest and intriguing video about our product so far. From what I've seen, I really appreciate your commitment to creating an honest review video for your audience. Wow, wow, wow. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos made by, God knows, everybody on the internet over the past year or two about this particular air fryer. I've gotten many comments from some of you who have said, I got it, I love it, I use it every day. I mean, as far as somebody convincing me that it's good, you guys are doing a great job. So maybe it is just that good. There are things about it that I'm discovering it and using it. The reasons for that shallow, wide, big drawer, as opposed to the deep basket in the Casoria style, it just makes it work better. It's also got a heating element underneath and a heating element on top. So it's not just an air fryer that blows hot air on things. It cooks in many different ways. Well thought out. So I'm getting more and more impressed with it. But to have my contact there, and I want to believe that she's not just blowing air at my skirt, as they say, but to say this is the best video they've ever seen, and I haven't even made the video yet. All I did is open the box. That was quite a compliment, so I thought I'd share that with you. I think at the same time, I've been thinking about taking that LabCorp on as a sponsor. I've been talking about that, where you could order your own tests. Some people have said, yeah, that would be nice. You know what? Do it without me if you want to. They're more expensive than Dave Feldman's Own Your Labs. You still have to live close enough to a LabCorp physical facility. You go get your blood drawn or give them samples. I'm not crazy about the arrangement they have, number one. I don't want to waste any of my time trying to talk you into blood tests that I myself don't want or don't need. That to me is the true definition of a hypocrite. So I wouldn't do this for myself, but why don't you buy this for me and help make me money? I can't do that. I can't do it. My conscience won't let me do that. It's crazy. So I've decided to turn that down, not bother. After all the work and back and forth with those people, it's not something that fits in with what I really believe and what I do. And yes, occasionally a blood test is going to be fine. Most of you can get your insurance to pay for them. If you can get your doctors to order them. My opinion. So that's why I don't have a lot of sponsors. It takes quite a bit to convince me, put my reputation as an honest guy online and a transparent guy, because that's important to me. Making a little money is important to me too, and I never, ever deny that because, again, that'd make me a hypocrite, and I try not to be. I hate people to say, "Do as I say, not as I do." I just can't stand that. Where was I? Trying to find out who's here first before it's over. Tina was here at 9:29. Hi, Tina. Good morning to you. And where's the first 8:30? The first 8:30, one of the usual gang, one of the regular on the ball guys. Yes, it is Smoothie. 8:30, followed by Sue Middleton, Marla Kelly. Thomas was here at 8:30, and a slew of other people. I wish I had the time to sit here and just immerse myself in your conversation because you guys, it's always interesting. Terry Sue says, my coffee's black so far this morning. Yeah, I don't put fat in it, I don't put cream in it, I don't put MCT oil in it. I'm putting supplements in it as a delivery system. I probably, yesterday I didn't have that third cup of coffee and I didn't take my creatine in it. So there was some electrolytes left in my thermos. So I threw the creatine in that. You can't taste it. That's the thing about creatine. It doesn't add any taste to plain water, coffee, or anything. I wish I could say the same for the leucine, but I am taking the leucine. I don't know if I can definitely tell you I've seen documentable results from it. I know that every day my walking, unaided walking, is getting more and more less dramatic. Let's say that. I still wear, because I'm a cautious man, I still wear my I've fallen and I can't get up push button, but I'm just walking. I still get tired from it. I still, but later in the afternoon when I finally feel like I'm out of energy, but it's getting better. And it's going to get better at its own pace, and I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing some exercising, not like I used to do at the gym, but every other day. And overall, I'm feeling better. But every day I also realize I better just hunker down. It's going to be like this until I'm running around, running to Sam's Club, doing all this stuff. And eventually maybe pursuing my hobbies, flying model airplanes, drones, something other than just being more or less housebound with an occasional errand here or there. I'll tell you, Amazon, this little adventure I've had trying to find a case for my cell phone has had me making returns to Staples now. Which at least gets me out of the house and from the parking lot to the Staples and back. So, and sometimes waiting in line for a half an hour behind some young lady who was returning 87 separate and distinct tiny little things to Amazon, and each one of them has to be scanned and processed. I got behind one of them the other day. Fortunately, she only had 4 items, but it took 15 minutes. And it's getting worse. These Amazon return things are getting worse than waiting in line at the post office behind that person that has 57 packages and wants to know what's the most economical way that I can send these and get them delivered as quickly as possible, and has to weigh all the variables for each and every one of those 57 packages on a day when there is only one clerk working at the post office. I've been behind them, or the bank tellers. So, and if you call for a pickup for these packages, then you're really in trouble because you're stuck at home all day waiting for him. You have no idea when he's going to show up. I think Amazon counts on what a hassle it is. So, my advice, get there first thing in the morning. If they're a store that opens at 7, be there at 7. You won't have the crowds. Okay, looking for questions now. I'm about to talk myself out, but it's only 10 after, so I'm starting out here about a half an hour behind it. Right in my comfort zone. Let's see what you're talking about now. Anna PL, I'm back. You're talking about making cream coffee. Still talking about coffee, but ghee in my coffee, says Granny D. Yeah, retired rig making baby. I'm going back to caffeine. At a boy, Rick. Black coffee. Still talking about coffee. See, Lexi, say hi, Lexi. Good morning to you, Lori. The coffee is good. It's great black. Yes, if you like coffee, black is the way to drink it. I won't recommend anybody put their leucine in coffee instead of coffee creamer for the taste, but I will for the health benefits. Scottish says, I've really been liking Minuteman coffee. Besides, Rick says, I used to grind my own, but my grinder broke. Sorry to hear that, Rick. It's a tragedy. You have all of our sympathy. Okay, that's what you're talking about now. Let's see what you were talking about half an hour ago. Chris Swain is here from Down Under. How you doing? Yeah, this is true. DS on 11. He says, before Carnivore, I used to insist that my coffee tasted like a candy bar. Yeah, thank you, Starbucks, for that. Thank you, Starbucks. You have definitely got us down that road with your foo-foo, what I call foo-foo coffees. Oh, wow. That'd be hard to do, Ricky, but that would be painful, my friend. I got to tell you, that would be painful. Making babies here. How you doing? And yeah, I'm looking for questions, but I get hooked into the conversation. Questions, there's something. Terry Sue, Mitch, have you utilized the community swimming pool for some of your physical? No, I haven't gotten out to the pool. Don't want to. I very creepy. I have very creepy feelings when I go into. I don't swim in that pool. I don't swim in any public pools anymore. And I especially don't go into the community hot tub. And if you saw the people in this community and the health and shape that they're in and the size of them, and I hate to say that I've noticed, but the fact that none of them, with all that shit they're eating and drinking all day ever, you never see them actually get up and walk to the bathroom. They just go into the pool. I'm sorry, I'm not going into that pool. That is truly an example of what we call a cesspool. It's worse than a pool full of little kids. No, not me. Not that my immune system wouldn't handle it, but just the thought of it creeps me out. Just looking at these people. And some of the thoughts that I have are really disgusting regarding how in the hell do you clean, you reach some of those places in those folds when you take a shower, if you even take a shower, and you're going into my swimming pool? No, thank you. Good question, though. Good question. I'm looking for QQQs. That was a good one. I know swimming's supposed to be such a great exercise. Oh, Sandy Blythe, thank you. Somehow I always manage to stop at the compliments, and Sandy Blythe says, Mitch is so cute. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. And Tuka, I don't have a heart attack from the carnivore diet. Yeah, what the? You and Rick both. You and Rick both. You're doing everything right, Tuka. You're doing nothing wrong. That's why you don't have a heart attack. All those people that are following all that advice, how to not have a heart attack, ironically, are the ones having the heart attacks. William Mott. Good morning, Mitch. Good morning, William. How are you doing? And I know I'm gonna miss saying hi to a lot of you today. Here's Cindy. Hi, Cindy. How you doing? I hope I didn't embarrass you yesterday by pontificating on the CAC score nonsense, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad to see you're here. I'm glad to see you're here. That was a subject that very few people talk about, wasn't it? Wasn't it? That's why I was so tickled to hear you give the exact same opinion of those things that I have. I'd rather not know, which goes along with the philosophy that there are things you can't unsee and unhear that can pretty much ruin your entire life. And certain things you just don't want to see and hear. And that's one of them. And very few people can remain unaffected about something as important as that. And in reality, it's so overblown and misunderstood anyway. I've watched a couple of doctors tell you why a CAC score is meaningless as a predictor. And maybe that was what I wanted to believe, but I don't want to be worried about it. I don't want to know. Don't want to know. Would anybody want to know the day that they're going to die? Would you want to know? Some people probably would, and they would give you a very logical and scientific and economical reason. Well, that way I could prepare everything. No. I don't want my life to be a countdown. I want to have hope. Always hope and optimism for a brighter future. Not a countdown to death, for God's sake, but that's people. Retired Rick can't comprehend spending $300 for an air fryer. Well, the people who make $500 air fryers, Rick, are thankful every day that not everybody is like you. But there are people like you, and you're evidently not their target audience. Gary's here, nose slow. How you doing, young man? What do you say? Program, maybe some hot sauce. Wow. Okay. Danny, Boston. Hi, Danny. Didn't say hi to you yet. Good to see you. Terry Sue. Football season is upon us. I'm going to have to sign up for live TV. You know, you can't just throw an antenna up. I put an antenna up here. I'm over on the east coast of Florida. I get all the Orlando stations. I get them sharp as hell. I get all the broadcast TV from Orlando. Yeah. God, there must be 100 channels of them between all the religious channels and UHF and all the Fox and Ion and all those other things that they broadcast out. You could almost, if you wanted to watch that stuff and all the commercials that come with it, you wouldn't even need to have it. You can't get internet on it, unfortunately, but you might be able to do that. Brian is here. Be Matt. Good morning, Mitch. I'm up to about 9 o'clock. Oh, 20 minutes behind. Not doing bad. Look at that. Maybe by skipping the hello to everybody, I probably have come up with a better formula for how to get through this. DS111, would you ever eat an order of French fries nowadays cooked in seed oil? Well, DS111, I would never eat an order of French fries cooked in anything. Because I don't eat potatoes or anything, any carbohydrates anymore. But I certainly, especially would not eat them if they were fried in seed oils. And yet, an occasional bit of French fries fried in seed oils will make absolutely no difference in your longevity and your health, because it takes mass quantities and years of consumption of these slow poisons to really do anything. So if once a month you wanted to say to yourself, I'm going to McDonald's and get a supersized order of fries fried in canola oil once a month, I doubt at the end of your life, as old as we are now, you could attribute any discernible bad thing happening from that one order. The problem is that none of us would be able to stop with just that one order. It would trigger us, our addictions would, and we'd be in line at McDonald's every day. That's the real damage. And if you're one of these people, for example, that can have a drink of alcohol every afternoon, like my grandfather did, Canadian Club Highball, with his afternoon cigar every day, lived to be 102 years old, never sick, but not an alcoholic, not an addict. That's the damage they've done to us. They've done more damage to us, addicting us to these foods with these things in them, than the actual foods would damage us if we had the ability to moderate. And at the same time, they addict us to it. They tell us they're okay in moderation, and it's our fault because we're overindulging. That's just evil. That's just evil. That's like the drug dealer on the corner who gives away your first couple of fixes to heroin, that gives to you for free, gets you chemically dependent on it, and then tells you it's your fault that you're a drug addict. You don't have to buy it from me. That's just evil. Jeff Johnson, the name you know. How you doing? Morning, Mitch and fellow Carnivore. It's good to see you. Worthy. Prince, thoughts on your adding your own spices to meat, not the ones in the store that are full of sugar. I mean things like garlic powder. Well, it all depends on whether you have any kind of a problem with them. They all come from plants, so if you're a plant Nazi, then no, don't add any of them. If you react to them in any way, sometimes the only way you can know if you're reacting to some of these things is if you cut them out and you notice how much better you feel, and then you add them back in and you feel like shit. Say, well, the only change I made was I added the garlic back in. Some people gives them gas. Some people does all kinds of bad things to them. Some people, I have found myself that I like to. For example, I use my coffee as an example. This comes from a plant. The water extracted some plant chemicals from the beans as it dripped over them. Evidently, some of it came out of the beans because I know the caffeine did, because we feel it. And from plants. Not all stuff from plants is bad for you. Most of our medicines come from plants that actually do some good. There's also the saying or the adage that the dose is the poison, and we know that to be true. You can eat a few almonds, and you're not going to get sick or die from cyanide poisoning. Eat a pound of raw almonds, you'll be pushing up daisies. So yes, How much garlic does it take before you'd be better off without it? Do you really have to have it? Are you at the point where you can't even eat food? It doesn't taste good to you unless you've got it. Salt and pepper and garlic and all those things. Forget the sweet stuff. That's an individual thing. Don't let anybody tell you, well, you're not a real carnivore if you eat garlic. Don't fall for that. You're a grown up. You're a grown up and you make your own rules. And you pay the price for them if they're wrong. But be realistic about it. And just keep in mind always that just because something is a certain way today, about how much you enjoy something, doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Because as physiological changes happen to your body, your perception of taste, how that taste affects hormonal balance, the signaling from that taste starts different reactions, like the signaling from a sweet taste. In most people, ends up resulting in a huge dopamine hit and a lot of pleasure. So we seek out that sweet taste because we know, whether we know it consciously or not, that our subconscious likes it because it's still living in caves and thinks that means we found some survival food and we're impelled to basically eat all that we can find and rewarded with a pleasure for doing so. Our bodies are living 50,000 years in the past. We're living in a world of today where there's no reason to eat all the junk food before it's gone. Not hardly. Don't think that when you eliminate garlic or pepper and just stick to the one seasoning we eat that does not come from plants, which is salt. And think about that. What other seasonings do we use on our food that don't come from plants? What a surprise. The seasoning that they used in caves 50,000 years ago, that living, especially animals, have been seeking out and is necessary for life itself, sodium, is the seasoning that we still use primarily today. That's salt. So salt is not a seasoning like any other. It was the only seasoning. It was the first seasoning. And there's a reason why we want that salty taste, because it means we're getting the sodium that we need. And the fact that we desire to have that salty taste shows you how deep-seated it is in our programming to seek it out. We don't have that same response for garlic. You don't see animals seeking out garlic, but they are seeking out salt. And when you give up all that other stuff and you give up all that other seasoning, I think you'll find, like I found, now maybe not, everybody reacts differently, that what you thought you needed and what you thought you wanted was just brainwashing, from companies selling seasonings, telling you how much better it makes the food taste. And in most cases, loading them full of sugar or something else. And you'll find you don't need it anymore. And you'll find the food actually tastes better, more like it's really supposed to taste, when you just salt to taste. And if you salt to taste, you'll never get too much salt. Your body won't let you. You know right away when you taste something, the first thing that comes in your mind is, need salt. It's too much salt. Too salty, need salt, just right. You think that's just an arbitrary decision on your part? That is a pre-programmed response based on your chemistry and your need for salt that is totally out of your conscious control. Instinctual. the signals that every animal on the planet Earth uses to be intrinsically healthy, other than humans who overthink virtually everything. That is not just about salt. That's about everything that we taste. Of course, taste is just a sensory organ, and the primary use of all sensory organs is to keep you out of danger and keep you alive and survive by making best use of the signals from those organs and not getting run over by a bus. It's handy to have eyes and ears when you're out crossing the street. We're talking about garlic now. Okay, that was my take on garlic. But if you like garlic, and you know what? I like garlic too in certain instances. And I have this seasoning called the blend. And yes, it's got crap in it. It really does when you look at the ingredients list, but it's tasty. So I haven't given it up completely. And the only time I use it is on chicken thighs. Now, I sprinkle just a little bit, tiny bit on it, salt, pepper, and garlic, and a bunch of other crap and emulsifiers and seed oils probably, and shit and chemicals and preservatives and everything else that's no good. But I figure one little shake on a chicken thigh, I'll deal with it. I'm pretty well. Next time I run out of it, I'm not going to buy it again. I'm just going to put salt on my chicken thighs. I probably enjoy them just as much or more. But we're all conditioned by years of doing things to think that that's the way we like them. You'd be amazed to find out what you can like if you just start doing it that way. And you guys are talking about your air fryers, and that's good. And I saw somebody said, I like my Ninja. I'm thinking, if you got a Ninja, you like it, there'd be no need to get a new one. Please believe me. Don't keep throwing out what you got because you think the grass is greener. That's why we have choice. I am not throwing out my Ninja either, because as far as I'm concerned, that Ninja 651 with the grill with the heating element in it, it's stuff for anything without that heated grill to actually sear off a steak and make it raw inside. And as good as this Typher might be, it doesn't do that. So we'll talk about that in the review. You can't like everything about everything. Do I like cleaning up that Ninja? It's not that bad. But that's why there's all kinds of different products. That's why there's many different kinds of cars. Everybody's needs are different. And if you've already got a good one, stick with it. Stick with it. Or you'll be like me. You have air fryers coming out of every cabinet in the house. It's crazy. Lambs always gives me a hard time. Telling you. Why do I put up with you, Lambs? I love you. I love you, man, because you speak your mind, man. You're always insulting me. You insult me in comments. You insult me on right here in front of God and everybody. Lamb says, putting leucine in your coffee is blasphemy. Well, excuse me. I'm joking. I love you. You know that. I bust on people all the time, too. And I'm going to assume people, when they do that, people that have been following me for a long time are busting on me. And that's okay. Have at it. I'm a tough guy. I can take it. Oh, two in a row. I got a coffee. Wow. Yeah, the crowd is cheering. Thank you. An unadulterated coffee. Let's see who bought it for me. And it is BMAT. Brian. Bought me three coffees. Thank you so much, my friend. And it says, enjoy the coffee, Mitch. I'm looking forward to see you cook with that new air fryer. It's going to take a week or so to get that made because I really want to run through its paces. I want to cook everything in that I've been cooking. I want to cook the frozen hamburger patties. I want to cook a steak from frozen, a steak from not frozen. I want to cook chicken wings in it. I want to cook something that I breaded with the panko. And the chicken thighs with just salt on them. The one thing I'm not going to cook, which is like the, excuse me a second. It's just like their biggest selling point. In fact, even their talking points. The two things we think you should cook are, and everybody who did a review video on this air fryer, without fail, has made a pizza in it. Evidently, it's got to be the world's greatest way to cook a pizza. Sorry, we don't eat pizza. I think for me to talk about making a carnivore pizza would go against the basic core beliefs of my life. Because you know how I make fun of those things. Carnivore pizza, carnivore bread, carnivore magic. No. So my review is not going to make pizza. My review is going to be, is this thing worth the money for a carnivore? Because I'm carnivore first and small appliance salesman second. Why did I get started on that little rant? No, so I have a second air fryer on my pot rack. It's a Ninja that can flip up and save some counter space. Yeah, that's a problem. Although this thing is not as big as I thought it was. Not much bigger than a Ninja, if at all. It's not nearly as tall. And in that respect, it would fit under a counter. I always use it underneath my range hood anyway. I'm not going to be using an air fryer, cooking a steak, making smoke out in the open and set off my smoke alarms. Because they can do that. I always try to put it in a ventilated area. You know, sometimes that's impossible for people to do. All these things are considerations. Here's the point where you're talking about coffee. I'm at 9:10, 9:37. Yeah. Got to be out of here in 20 minutes. Guys, time flies so much. Here's a real question. Francine, OldGuyCarnivore, Mitch, I watched Dr. Bigley yesterday on the ADS Live, and I understood everything. He's getting better at explaining to me, or is it me, I wonder? Well, it's probably a combination of both, because as each of us, as Francine, learns more and more about this stuff, we start picking up on things that we might have glossed over before. A term, a word, medical term, you know. ATP, for example. First time you ever hear the phrase ATP, you have no idea what they're talking about, but they're talking so fast and you don't have time to investigate it or ask, excuse me, time out, what's ATP? But after you watch 10,000 videos from guys like Bigman and everything else, you learn that ATP is adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency of the body. And that becomes an ingrained knowledge in you. And the next time one of these guys says ATP, you understand it. And sometimes that understanding is necessary for you to understand what comes next. So I think that's normal for you. And from the explainer or teacher side of it, the same thing is true. You learn what not to just throw in because it, for example, maybe something that is second nature to you to use the term ATP, but nobody knows what you're talking about. So as a teacher, the more and more you do, the more you learn to recognize the deer in the headlights look among the people in your classroom or your audience. So it's a good question. But yeah, I think that as you gain an understanding, you will understand him better and he will become a better teacher. That makes sense? Good question. No, it's good thought. I like that. All right, got to just screen through here. Stop reading everything, Mitch. look for the cues, and then we're going to have to start wrapping this up for today. It's my kind of question right here. Joseph Stevens. I. Poignant. And B says, question, you spoke of the drug and free samples. Aren't they called doctors? I don't know about the free samples, B, but I know my father had a pharmacist. I grew up in the pharmacy business. The doctors used to trade the samples to my father. Oh, this is great. I just lost my web browser. How did that happen? I lost the chat I was looking at. Okay. We bring this back. All right, got that back. And pop my chat out again. I lost it on the screen. It disappeared. It says not enough memory to open this browser. So, well, first of all, here, bear with me a second. Let me go ahead and just me, but no chat. Let me try to reload that and see if that came back. There it is. Okay. All right. Easy peasy. Reminds me of the old days, troubleshooting technology. Yeah, anyway, the doctors used to give my dad the free samples. And he and I used to bring them home when I was a kid. And we would separate them and basically put them back in big bottles, and he would sell them. And they were worth money. And I think he bought them from the doctors. Today, I can't even imagine the number of samples they give these doctors. I'm convinced it's just not about health anymore. It's all about money. I mean, it's always been about money, but I mean, it really has gotten out of hand. Now let's be catching up. We're talking about the spices, the salt. He says the chat's made in China. Probably some part of what brings you to chat is made in China, that's for sure. Everything is these days. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's not any good. China's manufacturing and Japan's manufacturing are not what it was when I was a kid. I remember the days when if it said made in Japan on the label, that just meant cheap, tinny junk. You can't say that today. You can't say that about Sony or Toyota. Even South Korean, the stuff they're making is incredible. So nothing stays the same. Everything changed. Everything changes. Kay, hi Kay. Kay says, Supersize Me Too. It's all about the chicken industry. Yeah. Those are okay movies. But the original Supersize Me movie was incredibly misleading and completely used as propaganda. It was about the guy that went to McDonald's, if you remember correctly. For 30 days, he ate only at McDonald's and supersized everything. And then they eventually came out, and when all was said and done, they blamed it on the hamburgers, which they still do. And they run studies that way, that when you eat all your food at McDonald's, they consider you a meat eater. You're lucky if 1% of the crap that you get at McDonald's is actually qualifies as meat. It's all sugar, grains, seed oils, junk, fries, shakes, sweet sauces, bread. with a tiny little sliver of hamburger in there. And then what do they blame for all the bad things that happen to you, all the weight you gain and the diseases you get? They blame that little tiny hamburger. Stop. Just stop it. And they keep doing it. And then I'm sure they did the same thing with the chicken one. I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch those things. I think those things are frauds, misleading, propaganda for people trying to sell something. And that one was most definitely an animal rights, climate change, anti-meat, vegan, vegetarian, Seventh-day Adventist bullshit thing that paraded as a documentary. Time to just cut that shit out. Stop it. You got some evidence, some tests, some real tests that aren't corrupted, conflicted, paid for by people with an agenda. Show them to me. Other than that, go home. Keep your mouth shut. Take that. Rich the boy says, good morning. Wow, yes it is. Yes it is. We got 15 minutes left. Any more questions here? Okay. I got up to the point where the chat quit. Ha! This is funny. Jeff Johnson says, I heard that the Japanese actually named their city USA to fool Americans into buying Japanese goods made in USA. Yeah, that's funny, but I wouldn't put it past anybody. I wouldn't put it past anybody. Made in USA, yeah. That's good. That's good. Keto Simples here. Good morning to you. All right, we're moving now. And we have done it. We have done it. We got to the bottom of the chat. Let me take a second and catch my breath. Drink a little more of my coffee. Well, it's been fun today, guys. It's been fun. Got a lot said, got a lot done. I don't think I missed the QQQs, but here's one. BMAT. BMAT says to me, Mitch, did you ever see the movie Fathead? It was made in response to Supersize Me. In it, a guy goes on McDonald's diet for a month and loses weight in his blood. Yeah, Fathead. Who did that one? Was that Gary Taub or Nina Teicholz or inquiring minds want to know? Let's see here what it says. It says Fathead. Fathead. Fathead official site. Fathead, the movie I want. Fathead movie. Problem is when you type in a name of something that's there it is, Fathead. The movie, interviews, doctors, nutritionists, the video may be inappropriate for some users. Of course, be inappropriate for anybody that has stock in the big food companies. Who's in it? Tom Norton, Morgan Spurlock, Gary Taubes. There you go. He's always in these things. You know, if Gary Taubes is in the movie, that it's a movie with the carnivore or healthy eating agenda that we have. Who else is in it? Don't know any of those other people, but was the movie a response to Supersize Me? 2009 American documentary film directed by and starring comedian Tom Norton. The film seeks to refute both the documentary Supersize Me and the lipid hypothesis. Yes, there you go. The reason that 99% of the American public has never heard of this movie is because it goes against the narrative of the health and drug companies, food companies. Serious. period. But yeah, I never watched the movie myself, but I'm sure that it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Fathead, full movie, comedian diet documentary, and there it is. And for those of you who might want to watch it, there's the link. And you can cut and paste that out of there. And immediately following this, you can watch Fathead. I'm sure it's a great movie. It's certainly got a good premise. So there you go. Great question to end the day with. Great question to end the day with. Thank you, Matt. Brian, I so used to call you Matt for all this time. I found out your first name was Brian. Old habits. So, everybody, get happy. Get happy. I can't believe it. Tomorrow will be the end of this 6-day week since last Sunday. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Everybody enjoy the day. Say goodbye to all your friends in the chat. CB Carmack is waving away. Lori Wetzel, Emoji Heaven, Sandy Bye Mitch. See you tonight. That's right. I forgot. Oh God, it's Thursday. I better post a link to that real quick. It's private community night. Oh man, I've been so preoccupied with so many things. Well, it would have come to me. I have it on all kinds of calendars, but they haven't come up and hit me but yet. So, all right, look for it tonight, 7 o'clock, private community. Yes, sir. This busy day just got busier. I can't believe it's Thursday already. It was just Sunday 5 minutes ago. Anyway, Rick, tonight it is. Okay, bye everybody, and take the rest of the day off and eat meat. Terry, see, I'm off 2 goats and iguanas right now. Roxanne friend says bye, all bacon baby saying goodbye. Lori, why some Mike Allen Booby Goats main runner? Gotta go. Good day. See you guys. And thank you all for coming. Thank you all. Hope I didn't miss too much. I will watch the replay, try to catch as much of the chat as I can. And I will see you all tonight at 7 p.m. on the private community. And we'll have a panel and continue our good time. But until then, my friend, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.